Well, hello. Welcome everybody once again to the Cosmic Show. I am your host, the Cosmic Marauder, and we are back with the breaking special report because I got something pretty cool from the Public Records Department from here in Albuquerque. But if you're confused as to why this is back on YouTube, it's because this is Albuquerque adjacent, New Mexico adjacent, and I'll just stay out of trouble in terms of things that could get me in trouble, my greater job and role, and etc. But anyways, we are here live covering the West Mesa murders along with my loyal co-host, Mars Bars. How's it going, Mars?
Howdy.
How's life going down there? You told me you're eating some pretty hot green chili lately, but is the weather hot? How's southern New Mexico?
It doesn't want it. It's not deciding what it is. It's like really nice and breezy and cold, and then it's like sunny and muggy, and then it's like, oh no, it's going to be chilly today, and then like 30 minutes later it's like, oh no, it's muggy.
Basically same here. We had thunderstorms all day. It's kind of nice though. It's been under 70 degrees. We can't complain. But the very cool thing I have to share with you guys is I have been actively requesting the West Mesa murdered missing victims police reports regarding when they went missing. I don't know if I said that correctly. The missing persons reports of the West Mesa victims, and I got 10 of them right now to go over with you. They're uploaded, ready to share. I could not get one of them. I requested it out of Lawton, Oklahoma. They told me that due to their children's code out there, they would not release that missing persons report to me. I am awaiting 2 audio interviews, though, in regards to 2 of the missing women. And that's confirmed pending straight from their mouth yesterday. So
that's pretty cool.
Anybody could do it.
Yep.
More people need to start requesting their public records, all that shit. Oh, we have Good Dan in here. What's up, Good Dan?
Hey, Good Dan.
But this has got me down the path of like, now what other records do I request? What else do I need to look out for? So I also requested there's like a tattoo reference. You'll see page actually because I scanned it to myself. But there's a tattoo reference file that was mentioned with a case number. So they might have this lady's like tattoos on file somewhere, like pictures of on her skin. So that'd be kind of creepy to look at. But what are your thoughts on the West Mesa murders, Mars? I remember one time we went out there to try to recreate what we thought was the routes. I've always had a big interest in the case because it happened when I was at the tail end of my college career. It's kind of shocking to think that it was happening out here, but at the same time, it shouldn't be surprising. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty spooky. And I was like, I remember in the beginning when we talked about it a long time ago, I was like, I think it's a cop or like someone on base around that time.
Yeah, I like to agree with that thought too, but more I think about it, I'm kind of thinking it might be like an informant / undercover, somebody like tangentially related to the police, but not exactly the police.
Right. Or it could just be a rando. Who knows? But just it being in New Mexico, I would say they probably have police or because for how fresh the graves were. Okay, sorry. What makes me think cop right away is because there wasn't enough evidence. Like when they dug them up, like there was no like. I mean, I guess they were old, but how old were they
when they were found?
Yeah.
So the murders were alleged to have happened, actually taking place between 2002 and 2005 or 6. And they were found in 2009.
So that's not long, like for a grave, like something. There should have been something left behind of the perpetrator, and it seems like they were very careful.
Yeah, there was no evidence of gunshots. They couldn't find a cause of death viewing the remains because it was bones at this point. So that highly makes it likely that they were strangled.
Right.
Poisoned, drugged, overdosed. I think a distant second, but
right.
Strangulation probably a lot easier just to be completely disturbing about it.
Mm-hmm.
The only physical evidence that was ever alleged or rumored to have been found was this one nursery tag that they think is connected to this one suspect who's serving time in jail for some cold case rapes of middle schoolers he did in the 80s and 90s. So he's spending the rest of his life in jail on that. They found a tag of a nursery that this dude was alleged to have gone to quite a lot.
Wow.
So that's like the only evidence, but at the same time, I'm not sure if that's. I think there's something to it because a little bit, because a lot of the victims were quite young. There's only one victim, I think, under 21 exactly, but 13, 15 young, tiny women.
Oh, wow.
You know, the West Mesa murders, for one of my conclusions, I had, let me see, five victims were 105 pounds or less, and none were over 130 pounds. So I don't think this guy was a super hulking big dude.
Right.
Like, he probably had a limit to what his capacity could be in terms of carrying somebody out there or burying them in the mesa.
Right.
Let's go ahead and check in on some of these comments right here. I asked John Masick earlier before the show started if he had any theories. He said, no, in fact, I'm unaware of them. It does ring a very dim bell, however. I'm in Denver, lived in Albuquerque 64 to 69.
Oh, wow.
The story, but yeah, it's changed so much in 50 years. Holy shit. OG Albuquerque.
Yeah.
How long has the story been public? And we talked about 2008, 2009, I think. Let me see. John says it sounds vaguely familiar. Gooden says maybe the killer moved on to greener pastures. Ivor said, I did it. Y'all caught me. So in addition to some other random videos tonight, we also have 2 videos with potentially connections to a suspect. But there's only 2 real suspects in my opinion. It might be one of these 2 dudes, but I think it's like a 70% chance we don't know who this is yet. I think that's
right.
why the police is appealing to the public. Let's go ahead and check out this video from 3 months ago, which is going to show. Oops, hold on. You can't hear that, can you?
No.
Good, perfect. I didn't share the screen yet. But yeah, the story's still public. They're still working it, and there's a reward now up to $100,000 leading to an arrest, guys.
Oh,
so
wow.
You got to help me get in on this. If you guys directly lead to a tip, I will cut you in on it if I end up calling it in before you do. But if I call it in before you do, it's all me, people. I'm sorry. Not that generous, but we'll see. We'll see what you guys got out there.
Well, today is a very somber day in our city's history. It's been
15
years since bodies of 11 women and 1 unborn baby were discovered on Albuquerque's West Mesa. The search for whoever is responsible continues to this day. Since the initial...
Oh, my God. Freaking internets. Let me drop down the quality on this just a little bit. There's also a lot of clouds in where both of us are at, so we'll see how the stream looks. What's up, user? Good to see you. We got the whole crew here almost. Come on, continue.
Discovery's case. Investigators have also performed 7 additional searches. Police say they're still investigating, and they're once again asking anyone with information on this case, Stoppers.
Contact Crime Stoppers, guys. That video is 33 seconds long. Coincidence? Good dances. Good Dan says, could it be one of the officers from the DWI unit? Oh no, they're not that bad, guys. I don't know. I blame the attorneys in the state for that, and the city governance.
Yeah.
I think they're doing what they're asked to do. To be frank, I don't know. Do you blame the cops, Mars?
I mean, it's pretty hard to say no to like a couple grand or whatever they were making.
And not going to a hearing. You got to get out of a hearing and get paid a
like
couple
sweet.
grand.
Oh yeah, sweet. Yeah, I'll do that.
Instantly. Like, I'm too busy for this shit.
Yeah.
All right. So I want to share with you guys next. And I think I will have to pause it periodically and talk over it because it is a movie trailer. But I'm super excited for the feature film based on the West Mesa murders. Are you guys ready? This is not a parody. This is a real trailer, what I'm about to show you. But The Boneyard is a real film coming out, and it has one of our all-time favorites starring in it. And I'm not even going to say anything else.
I haven't seen this at all, so
he's
no
going
idea.
He's going to be stoked. It looks kind of good.
Oh no. Is it Alex Stein?
It looks really good. No.
Oh.
We can still hear, right?
Yeah.
Approximately 6 weeks ago, one of our concerned citizens came across human remains while walking a dog. We discovered the remains of 11 women and one unborn.
Is that 50?
Oh, it's 50 Cent.
No way.
50 Cent. I'm sorry, the 50 Cent or Diddy. But I'm glad it's 50.
Oh man.
We got our first major appearance. And it only gets better from here. You think he's the
That's funny.
You think he's the A side? Oh, just wait.
One child.
We never faced anything like this. Listening in an expert.
Chief Carter, I presume.
Hope you had a good flight, Agent Patrick.
I read your file. You've been looking for the boogeyman. Instead, focus on the regular.
We got Mel back in the house.
No way.
As the mentor FBI
No way.
investigator. He's back, and he's not even directing this. He's back as an actor, and it's next month.
I'm gonna cry. I'm crying.
I knew you were crying inside.
I just hide in plain sight. We put serial killers into 4 categories. First, you got your visionary. They hear voices, you know. Next, we got hedonistic. These are lust killers. After that, the power control oriented. But I don't think our guy has any of those. He's
What a perfect role for him. The crackpot cop who's seen too much to come in and mentor the villains on what's happening.
With the Hawaiian shirt on.
Yeah. I love it.
oriented killer. He thinks he's making the world a better place.
I had to watch this twice just to make sure it wasn't a parody or like a fan trailer.
Right? Or like AI.
I had to really make sure before I share this.
And for a good time.
Oh no.
You want to do this thing?
Oh, you know I do.
You telling me the serial killer can be an undercover cop?
So it could be any.
They're going to throw all the theories in on one, so people got to take great discretion when they watch this because they're going to make this into one big thing to tie up the movie. But a lot of theories are going to be at play in this one.
When I looked into his eyes were dead.
He's playing God. No one can get through life without pain. My pain is deep, but it gives me purpose.
Predator amongst us.
The Bone Collector.
Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, I'm ecstatic. It looks like it's actually going to be a decent movie.
I'm gonna watch that. Yeah, I haven't heard anything about that.
They don't do bad movies typically, but that
they're usually like
16,000 views.
Indie films.
All right, so it's on digital and on demand July 2nd and in theaters July 5th. So that's a movie theater movie for me.
Nice.
It's probably going to get pretty busy out here in Albuquerque. If it's going to sell out anywhere, it's going to sell out in Albuquerque.
Right?
User says, "I'll be the first Western movie I watch in a decade." Is that a Western? I mean,
Yeah.
pretty close.
Yeah.
It's on the edges.
Man, that's
All
funny.
All right, you guys. You ready to view some missing persons reports?
I'm very excited and not excited.
I have some notes on here, and just so everybody knows, like, what I learned right away is missing persons reports aren't really that detailed. There's a couple in here of some details, but these are going to go kind of quick. So we'll go
Okay.
through maybe like 3 or 4 of these, and then we'll go back and watch another clip on a suspect, and then come back to the missing persons reports.
Do
The first one is actually going to be the most interesting one. So let's go ahead and present the screen here. Everybody's commenting really quick, though. The movie's got people a buzz, I think.
Oh, okay.
User says, only because Mel Gibson's in it. And he says, no memeing from Western media, only because Mel Gibson's in it. Good point. And 50 Cent is conservative. He's not a liberal dude. Ivor says, there's been some fantastic Westerns lately. Oh, yeah? What? Name a couple.
Yeah.
I really don't know.
Mm-mm.
He says, better than Disney comic book cartoons. Yeah, well, that's why I don't go to the theaters, because that's all that's happening at
Yeah.
the theaters. They're all trans and shit now.
Yep.
It's very disturbing.
I want to see Joker 2.
No, you don't. It's going to be a musical.
What?
You know that? Yeah. You didn't know this? Lady
No way.
Gaga and Joaquin Phoenix are going to sing for 2.5 hours. I'm not joking.
No way.
Yes, way.
I don't believe you.
Ivor says Hell or High Water. I haven't seen that yet. I've seen Wind River. That was a fucking crazy movie.
Okay.
That was based on true stories too, but they blended like 3 or 4 cases into that one.
Oh, okay.
But it's a terrifying story. It's about a murder on an Indian reservation, basically.
Yeesh.
And those who wish me dead. All right. That's good for now. Thank you. Actually appreciated that. Let's get to our missing persons report, shall we? So the first one we're going to view is by Jane Barella. She's the mother of the victim, Jamie Barella, who's the youngest victim of the West Mesa murders. And her daughter went missing with her cousin, who I think, how old was she? Was 26 at the time, and she was 15. They're at a family function. They left to go somewhere else in the war zone. They were never seen again.
Oh, man.
So the occurrence date it allegedly happened on March 26, 2004, and the date reported was a week later. So we'll just scroll through here. Jamie Barella was 15, born in 88, 5'4", 90 pounds when she went missing. The size of these ladies is going to be something that's going to be a recurring factor for at least 5 or 6 of them. All very small for the most part. Gang affiliation, possible Sodeno. So that's like the only real lead I have in terms of an organization. I always thought that shit was kind of fake growing up in Carlsbad. Like there was fake Sodenos, but I don't know. Are gangs like this known for trafficking Mars? Do you know anything about that?
Or I was just going to say, or
just prostitution in general?
No, or I was going to be like, maybe this was gang activity before you said this. Or just like ritual shit.
Oh, that's interesting. Initiation, yeah. You got to kill a hooker?
Something like that.
From the other side or something?
Yeah.
Looks like I have Evelyn Salazar's age incorrect. It's 23, not 26. So my notes said 26. She was 23 when she went missing. And they went missing on 5600 Gibson, which is San Mateo and Gibson. You know that little grassy park?
Yeah.
That was their last known location. Let me go ahead and scroll down here. So I'll just go ahead and read this because it's handwritten. It's hard to read, but I can read most of it. Officer Tafoya and myself are dispatched to 1101 Paloma Southeast, apartment 30, in reference to a missing 15-year-old teenager who'd been missing since last Friday, March 26th, called in by the teen's mother. Jane Barella said that her daughter Jamie and her older cousin Evelyn Salazar said that they were going for a walk last Friday night at approximately 9 p.m. when they left the apartment. She said that Jamie nor Evelyn have been seen since, nor have they called. Miss Barella said that she didn't report Jamie missing sooner because she felt that she would at least call or even show up between then and now. She said that she had already called all of Jamie's known friends, and none of them have seen her. She said that her relationship with Jamie is somewhat distant and that Jamie tends to keep to herself, and that she mostly wants to confide in Evelyn. She also said that although she does not believe Jamie is an active gang member, she believes that she does associate with members of the Soreño gang. She also said that they had just moved from the west side of Albuquerque to their apartment on Palomas 2 weeks ago, and that she still hadn't had the chance to enroll her in a neighboring school. She said that Jamie was born here in Albuquerque at the University Hospital. Ms. Barella said that according to Evelyn's mother, Maya, Evelyn never returned home either that date. And in conversation earlier today, she was going to report Evelyn as a missing person sometime later today. Myself and Officer Tafoya went to 5600 Gibson Southeast, apartment 332, Myra's apartment, but nobody was home. Jamie was entered into NCIC at 10:30 hours by Priscilla. Report review. Let's see. User says small people are easy to snatch. You don't see people running off of fatties. Yeah, gravity can be a weapon, I guess. Good Dan says, why can't I see the other chatters? Well, that's because you're chatting on Rumble, and I can see your chats on Rumble, but I can't comment to you through type on Rumble. But they can see you on YouTube whenever I highlight your thing. So you guys won't be able to interact with your chats unless you go to YouTube or they go to Rumble or chat with you there, etc. Any thoughts on that, Mars Bars, our first missing persons report?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting that they had just moved up there. Like, it's crazy.
And we're going to see a recurring connection between the west side and the southeast of Albuquerque, which is really fascinating. It could be random because like Albuquerque is very much built on a grid, right? It's one of the most grid-like cities out there in the world. I'm not even joking. It's like up and down and across the whole state. So it's like it's hard to figure out what exactly the connection is between, Coors, Northwest Albuquerque, and this area.
Yeah,
the war zone's the war zone. We know the war zone, but what is the connection between this like shady part of West Albuquerque?
Right.
Oh, look at this! Is so funny. Well, Ivor says the obese make the best soap. I wasn't talking about that, but Teabaggin went over to Rumble to say, "What's good, Dan?" And then Not Good Dan went over to YouTube to say hi again, my friends. So they're cross-pollinating.
That's good.
It's very good. I'm gonna go grab another beer really quick. Can you just keep the chat going? Keep talking to him about the West Mesas, dude. Tell him about our trip.
I remember the first night we went out to the West Mesa in my 1995 4Runner. It was late at night, 10, 11 o'clock, and I recorded the whole way and on audio. I remember that was like one of the first things we recorded together.
Do you still have that?
I have it.
Oh, yeah. Send it to me.
I will. I think it's like an hour and a half or like 2 hours or a while because it took a while to drive there. And then we were like there. And then I think we recorded on the way back too. Like,
was it on the Tascam?
Yeah. I have it.
Oh, yes.
I have it.
Oh man, next episode we're going to do a follow-up whenever I get those other documents with the audio.
Okay.
So that'd be perfect to try to
Yeah, I could probably find it.
I wonder if I could even run it through AI to get like clips of it if it's that long, or what I would do.
Yeah, I mean,
bookmark it.
Yeah, just like make a list of the cues to go to.
Exactly. It's so funny. How long ago did we do that? Like 10 years ago? 12 years ago?
Probably. Yeah, a long time ago. Probably 10 years.
Which house were we at? We were at the apartment on Yale.
No, I don't think so. Actually, no, it wasn't 10 years. It was like
5 years ago.
7 to 8, maybe 7 years ago.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Not so good. Dan says, would you ever do a deep dive on Sissy Hypno and its ties to crypto and feds? What is that?
What
I don't
is
even know.
Sissy Hypno?
I don't
This
know what the
sounds
hell
like
it is.
a bait and switch thing. Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go type in Sissy Hypno into Google, and then it'll be like, I don't know,
Somebody getting railed at Antifa
something
abuse.
terrifying. Yeah.
Ivor says, I stay at the Motel 6 on Coors. I hope you don't.
Don't
I hope that's a joke.
stay there.
Do you travel through town and stay there? That's hilarious.
He's stalking you.
He's a crazy person. All right, let's get to Evelyn Salazar. She was 23, 5'1", 125 pounds. No known tattoos. So most of these women had tattoos. 3 of them were scarred significantly. So I was wondering if there's like a weird, like,
Wow.
does that indicate possible like torture or like threats or like what does that mean? Like one of the girls, the oldest one, Cinnamon Elks, we'll get to later. I think she's a key player in this somehow, but she was quote heavily scarred, like on the back of her leg, her shoulders, her face.
Wow.
Some of them has scars on their throats.
Dang.
It's crazy. I'm like, that sounds like gang activity.
Yeah, it does.
All right, here we go. I cut you. It's like blood in, blood out. Shit. All right, here we go. Evelyn Salazar, 5600 Gibson, apartment 332. And just in case like friends and family of the victims are watching, I know that it's a very sensitive thing. And I'm sorry at any humor that's made on this show. It's not made at the expense of anybody. It's more of a gallows thing. It is so dark, but hopefully we can actually literally try to solve some shit. It's a hope and a prayer out here, but we'll see. So see here it says 26. But in the last report, it said 23. So that's why you got to really look at these reports and compare them against each other. I think she was 10 years older than her then. Because she was born in 78. Other girl, 88. She's 26. She's 15. That makes sense. Let's clarify that on the record at least. Let's go ahead and see what else here. Nothing else really notable other than, you know, brown-haired, brown-eyed, 5'1", 125-pound Hispanic woman.
Right. And they're sisters, right?
Cousins.
Cousins. Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. Listed person has failed to return home since listed dates and times. Miss Salazar reported by phone that her daughter has failed to return home after leaving on 4/2/2004 at 19:30 hours. The daughter was said to be the company of a cousin that also has not been seen. Miss Salazar believes this is out of character for her daughter. That's all. That's all there is on that one.
Right.
So I'm saying those ones suck.
Although it is interesting that they both went missing, so the person was handling 2 people at one time. I mean, even if one of them was younger.
I think that does imply that there were several people involved, though. Like it strongly suggests.
Okay.
Yeah, there was, right? Because how does one person take care of 2? Unless one, like they're both in the sex trade, right? Potentially, or alleged to be to drugs and prostitution. What if one was just there to be like keeping watch or something? Took care of the youngest one.
Right.
Took care of the older one after. I don't know.
Right.
I don't think it's as simple as a John targeting a prostitute, though. What do you think of that theory? I don't think it's a John. Like, I think maybe like lured there under the guise of that, or maybe it was like double duty, right? Like I said, informant / John or something like that.
Right.
I don't think it was a straight John, though.
Right. Right. Yeah. I mean, just for the lack of evidence, I would say. Like, it's too many people to be going out there and burying without like a mistake being made and like something else other than what was it you said, like a nursery tag?
Right. We'll talk about that guy shortly too.
Although it is the desert out there, so like a lot of shit could have just been blown away or deteriorated by the sun and evaporated. Like,
this guy is mentioning David Parker Ray, and I think that's one of the Toy Box killers.
oh, okay.
Couldn't have been him. He died in 2002.
Ah,
He was also hella old by then too, so definitely not him.
mm-hmm.
Toolbox Killer, though, I don't even like covering that one because that one is like one of the most sadistic things you come across, in my opinion. That's a bad one.
Yeah, I forgot about it on purpose.
All right, let's go to we'll cut out.
I think we're good now.
All right, good. Man, fucking StreamYard. Get your shit together, StreamYard. Let's get to Google Earth, shall we? I got some of these places pulled up. I don't know why it's so bright whenever it's on the display, and I don't understand why. But if we go ahead and zoom out, all the way out, right
It is
here.
bright. Do you have your contrast like way up?
How do I fix this? Let me see. Oh, on the TV
Yeah.
or on my PC?
I don't know. Like,
Both?
do you have a setting on your operating system to be like hard of seeing or, or like for your eyes?
Maybe.
Okay. It does look a little odd, but I think it's
Let
seeable.
me check it out really quick. Let's see,
Or it looks almost like a negative.
that sucks, right?
But
It's annoying a little.
that's fine.
Yeah, it's annoying.
It's all good.
Does that do anything better? That's the night light setting is off.
No. Or
It's not
refresh.
better.
Can you refresh?
I can. Hold on. Get a second. If not, I'll just continue on. Need to calibrate my shit.
It's all
That's
good.
the main thing. All right, let's just get back to the show.
Yeah.
Google Earth from fake space, presented by Werner von Braun. Oh wait, what the fuck?
There it comes.
Did it just wipe my project? It wiped my
There.
project, dude.
No way.
No, it's gone, bro. It didn't save. Yeah, it didn't save. Wait, hold on.
You must have saved it, didn't
Hold
you?
on, hold on.
Oh, okay.
I thought I did last night. Well, motherfucker.
Boneyard.
Doesn't
Oh,
matter.
That's
The main point
Son
I
of a
wanted to
bitch.
share. Main point I want to share is son of a bitch, yes. And basically all the parties lived within like 3/4 of a square mile of each other. So they were all walking distance in that San Mateo, Gibson, up a little bit north to Palomas Drive, southeast area. All right there next to each other. I know these locations good enough that we'll at least be able to talk about it. So User's right. I am boomered. I just got boomered right there. Gotta understand, it's hard navigating life from tapes to CDs to CD-ROMs to floppy disks. There's a lot that's happened in my life, guys. You guys are even older than me watching. What do y'all have to? What are you talking shit for? All right. Let's get to the next missing person. Victoria Chavez, reported by Mary Gutierrez. Victoria Chavez is about 26, 4'11", 105 pounds. We have our first under 5-footer here. Tattoo and a throat scar. Very interesting. She was missing 1 year before she was reported.
Damn.
So there's always
whatever happened to Victoria or Mary? Wait, which one is it?
Mary's the mom.
Oh,
the daughter's Victoria.
Yeah.
That's going to be a common theme, though. A lot of these women were not seen for long periods of time.
That's
before they finally decided to call them in. And they just got used to them being addicted to drugs. They're like, yeah, I just lost contact with her. We don't get along anymore. They're out there on the streets. All that shit. But tattoo on right leg on marked scars and tattoo section. Known drug user and prostitute, scar on throat. Let's get to the actual missing persons report. Miss Gutierrez calls to report her daughter as missing. Miss Gutierrez stated that she has not seen or heard from her daughter in about a year and is concerned for her welfare. She advised she is on probation and is a known drug user and prostitute. That's it. That's all we got on that one. That was reported in 2005. I think we got to get into a suspect video, shall we? Go ahead and switch it up for a second. If you guys are out there watching, please give this stream a thumbs up, whether it's on Rumble or YouTube. Make sure you share it on platforms such as X, Instagram. I don't like Facebook, but I mean, there's not many options, so share it wherever you can. I don't really care. Let's watch our first suspect video, number 1, Joseph Blee. This guy, I think, is a decent contender. I think he's potentially a stronger contender than the next guy we'll watch in a few more minutes after we do some more reports. But here's the 6-minute video. Does APD have a suspect of the West Mesa murders? This is the nursery tag dude.
Sunday marks 5 years since the first bone was discovered in
What's up, Dick Niffing?
Serial killer's burial ground. Police would eventually find the bodies
Frontier
of
legend.
7 women out there. But have they ever found the killer? Tonight, on special assignment, News 13's Kim Holland reveals new evidence in this case, new details about the investigation, and a look at who sources say are the prime suspects.
The crime scene has been abandoned. Family members of the women found buried out here wonder if the case has too.
It's been really kind of disappointing that
oh, that's the dad
hasn't been kept
on one of these
more.
cases coming up.
11 women, one of whom was pregnant, were killed and buried near 118th and Dennis Chavez in Albuquerque's West Mesa. On February 2nd, 2009, police started unearthing the skeletons. Then, one by one, over almost a year, we learned the victims' names. We also learned that drug addiction had driven most of them to shadowy lives of prostitution on East Central. Their deaths, police say, the work of a serial killer. The massive investigation drew national attention.
Stand by and action. The largest crime scene in America.
Albuquerque police announced a $100,000 reward. In April of 2009, the digging came to a stop, with police leaving open the possibility more victims may be out there. By July of that year, the suspect list had narrowed to 5 or fewer. But as time went on, the tips slowed. The trail appeared to go cold. 5 years later, where does the case stand now?
Do you guys have a lead suspect in this? Do you, in your gut, think you know who did this?
Commander Anthony Montano is among the new set of eyes overseeing the investigation. He says detectives from the Goldfish Unit and others are going back over the 1,000 tips they've received over the past 5 years, with a suspect list Montano says now includes more than a dozen names. Does that mean the case has gone cold, that police are further away from solving it?
It's definitely
More than a dozen names. That's pretty vague.
I wonder if you can get the tips.
No.
Can you
You think?
can you request for the tips, like all of the 1,000 tips that they just mentioned?
I gotta call Crime Stoppers. Are you doing a Crime Stoppers commercial?
No, I'm just saying they have all these tips. It'd be interesting to read those.
I know, right? It would. That'd be a lot of work, but it'd probably be pretty quick.
Yeah, I'm sure they're short.
Maybe not, though. Man, that's scary. That's like really scary to think about. Because one of them's going to be right.
Right.
Like, like probably a lot of them are right, but which
Right,
ones?
right.
Ugh, dark.
Yep.
I think if you just keep seeing the same one over and over and it sticks out, I think it's just a gut feeling after a certain point. You just have to know.
Or I bet hookers know.
Right.
They're like, oh no, we just
One of these dudes or one of these girls' former boyfriends were named in an article recently. I'm like, I could try to find that guy.
Right.
Interview him. That'd be crazy.
There's a lot of good information that we are receiving. It is progressing, but it's a very complex investigation.
For years, police have insisted there is no serial killer on the loose. We've learned the suspect list includes 2 men with histories of violence against women. One's dead, the other's in jail. Lorenzo Montoya lived near the burial site. He told coworkers he had killed women and buried them on the West Mesa, and he had 3.
A lot of people think this guy's a lot of people think it's this guy. I don't think it's him.
Arrests on his record for picking up prostitutes on East Central. In 1999, police followed Montoya and caught him raping and strangling a woman in his truck. She survived. 7 years later, he strangled a 19-year-old prostitute in his trailer with a braided duct tape rope. Her pimp saw Montoya dragging her body towards his truck, then fired a shot that killed Montoya. Police said at the time that they believed Montoya may have killed before. The name Joseph Blea has never been revealed by police.
This is the nursery tag guy. This guy I think slightly stronger candidate, but I also don't think it's him ultimately.
News 13 has learned Blea has been on the suspect list for years. He's currently in jail in Santa Fe awaiting trial in a slew of rape cases, many of them involving young girls. His history has always troubled detectives. So is the fact that his DNA was found on the jeans of a prostitute who was killed and dumped off East Central in the late 80s. News 13 has learned a tag for a tree bought at an Albuquerque nursery was among the few pieces of physical evidence discovered in the makeshift graves. Blea, who worked as a landscaper, was a frequent shopper at the nursery. Police aren't discussing specifics about suspects, and they're not discussing tactics either, but we've learned more. In 2009, FBI profilers assisting APD had a suggestion: use one of the department's own officers to help draw the suspect out. That officer was Nadine Hamby, APD spokeswoman in 2009.
The most important step right now.
We've learned Hamby phrases and body language while speaking to reporters on camera. Sources tell us investigators hope seeing her on TV would spark a reaction of potential suspects, including Blea. Did it work? We asked Commander Montano. He said he didn't know.
We have surprisingly a lot more than I think people realize, but we're trying to be very diligent with what we have and how we actually process that.
Police say releasing too much information about the case could hinder the investigation, but some of the victims' relatives have lost patience. And they say they've been frozen out by police and not kept updated.
Absolutely not. Today's the first day I've heard from them in 5 years.
Police say the families are free to contact APD with any questions.
The phone lines have never changed. Our numbers have remained the same since we started the task force.
But the families aren't the only ones frustrated.
This was one of the most horrific crimes in the history of our city. And there's been no resolution to what has happened here.
City Councilor Ken Sanchez represented this district 5 years ago.
And they let me know that the investigation is still ongoing, and that's the answers that I'm getting. And I feel it's not enough. I mean, we have spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on this investigation, and we still have no answers.
Police say complicated cases take time.
We will solve this.
For the victims' families, the agony of the long wait lingers on.
You never forget.
It's like a wound; it'll heal, but I mean, a wound will scab up, but it'll never.
Well, it's like when they say you have a broken heart. You literally have a broken heart.
But do they still believe police will ever solve the case?
And if you let them do their job, they will get it done.
I don't know. It's been many years.
They probably fight about that shit all the time.
Right. It's like you
What do you
shouldn't
think
have
of
had
those
your kid.
Sorry, go ahead.
You shouldn't have had your kid out there on the corner tricking. Like,
how do you stop that though?
I don't know.
People get so far lost though.
Or you stop that. You stop that like way early, like when they're like 1 and 2. You just like pay attention to them while they're growing up, and that's it. Just pay attention.
What if you get hooked on coke in high school?
Just keep paying
Dude,
attention.
it happens. Yeah. And people just, I think, have this hands-off approach with kids after a while due to like the counter child abuse movement. They're just like, okay, you can't be like that anymore with your kids.
Right. That's bullshit.
Pendulum just swung the other way, and it's like, nah, shit. There's consequences for this shit.
Right.
User says, these days you can't. There's a time where problem children were kept locked in an attic and family events. And he's right. He's 100% right.
That's funny.
Oh, it's dark. Let's get back to these reports. Who's our next missing person? Oh, it's Monica Candelaria. Let's see. What do my notes say on her? She's 5'3", 105 pounds. Red hair, brown eyes, wrist and ankle tattoo. She was missing 2 years before she was reported, and her last known whereabouts were on 811 Edith Southeast. And that's going to get to our next interesting locations. I wish I had my fucking map up, but I destroyed that, as you all saw. Stupid Google. Google usually autosaves shit.
Right.
Nowadays. But yeah.
Or why were
Iris
you
says-
using? Or go ahead.
Why was I using Google Earth?
Yeah, instead of maps.
Well, because you get the 3D street view. Like I was going to zoom into the street and like look at the places. I had a whole thing.
Yep.
I had a whole thing set up.
Okay. Okay. I'm sorry.
I know. Ivor's asking, where's this place on East Central? The first few locations were all in the war zone. So south of Central, like in that Zuni, San Mateo, Louisiana, Gibson area, like all in there. Iris says, I might get lonely in the ABQ. No, well, that's not why I wanted to tell you that. Damn it, you nasty bastard.
I told you.
He's a dirty motherfucker.
He loves you.
But this comes into our next location triangle where there's a lot of victims found on Edith Northwest, Edith Southeast. There's one in Rio Rancho, I think might be like a handler or the one that introduced them. We'll talk about shortly too. But there's really not many other notable areas other than this area of the war zone and then this area northwest of Albuquerque or in northwest Albuquerque. Talking too fast here. Let's see. 5'3", 105 pounds, 21. Let's get to the missing persons report. Mrs. Candelaria called in to report her daughter Monica missing. Mrs. Candelaria stated Monica was last seen on May 11, 2003 at an unknown location on the west side of Albuquerque, Central and Coors area. Has not been seen or heard from since. Mrs. Candelaria stated she wished to have Monica entered into NCIC as a missing person. I advised her that a report would be written. I'm telling you, these police reports are bullshit. Oh, okay, 811 Northeast. Correction. The addresses are even mixed up on these. Like some of these addresses didn't exist. And I know there's a confusion on this one.
Right.
For me. Now we're starting to get into the typewritten era of police reports, as you can see.
Right.
Can't believe they handwrite that shit still. All right, this is just a correction. We don't need to read that. Here's at 901 Edith Boulevard, Northwest Virginia, Cloven. Let's see, what do I have written here? She was missing only 4 months before it was reported. So getting a little bit better. Getting a little bit better here.
Yep.
5'2", 115 pounds, tattoo and an appendix scar.
Eee.
On both sides, it says. What does that mean, appendix scars on both sides? You only have one appendix.
Hmm.
Does that make sense? Or does that mean like on either side of...
Oh, like front and back, maybe?
Oh.
I don't know. That's weird.
I always thought removing the appendix was a psyop.
I think so too.
You could probably fix that if you wanted to. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, just cut it out like your dick. Like the foreskin on your dick. Just chop off your dick. It's like, no, thank you, dude. I know you guys mess up chopping off baby dicks, okay?
Right?
Ira says it might have ruptured. But like I said, maybe that's a psyop. Oh, well, maybe that's why it's on both sides, because they're ruptured. Okay, that might be a good point.
Mm.
Mr. Cloven called to report a missing person from the listed address. Mr. Cloven stated that his daughter has been missing. Mr. Cloven stated they have contacted family members and that no one has seen her. Like I said, so much lack of detail. Now let's get to what I think is the second most interesting missing persons probably of the night. This report is Cinnamon Elks. The most interesting one I thought was our first one, Jamie Barella and Evelyn Salazar. Do you agree on that? That was the one with the most detail.
Yeah.
So Cinnamon Elks, she was 32 when she went missing. And I thought it was very interesting on the map. What I wanted to show you is that she was the she lived in the wealthiest house of any of these individuals. She was like sharing a room, a house with somebody. Now they might have been into shady shit, but she had a male roommate. And this 10404 Madrina Court Northwest is a pretty nice. It's a pretty nice place. And you're like, why are these criminals randomly hanging out up here, very near Rio Rancho? They're the furthest north, or her address is the furthest north of anybody's on the list. She was missing 4 months. No tattoos, but right here you see under Mark Scars tattoos description, scars on calf, scar on shoulder / left, second belly button where feeding tube was the result of an accident.
Good grief.
No other details on that. So the reporting party was Art Johnson, born in 1956. So he was significantly older than her. That's 16 years older, if I math correctly. Very interesting already, but there's also a decent description, I think, here. Or is that it? No. I guess not. I found more information somewhere else, I thought. Miss Johnson, or Mr. Johnson, called to report a missing person with listed address. Mr. Johnson stated that Mrs. Elks was his former roommate. Mr. Johnson stated that she has not been seen since August. Mr. Johnson stated that he has been in contact with her mother and friends and no one has seen or talked to her. I think she was at least, 6 years older than most of the women. The next oldest one is Doreen Marquez, we'll talk about next, and Veronica Romero, but there's a few victims, 28 to 32, and the rest are like 26 or under. The youngest 15. After that, you go to 21 or 22. I don't know. I do not know what's going on.
Mm-mm.
Do you think they're targeted more for the like social affiliations, the physical descriptions?
I think it's, well, probably them being small, but I think also like just it's easy to get. I mean, not that I've ever picked one up, but it's easy to get a prostitute into your car, right?
I don't know.
I mean, I
Probably.
would think if they're just they're trying to out there trying to make money, and you're a guy and you roll up and you don't look initially like threatening, they're going to be okay to get in your car.
Yeah, that's a weird world.
Yeah.
I hated strangers as a kid. Like this could never like doing anything like this is so foreign to me, but I feel the risk part of people's brains is just so warped by whatever traumas or whatever
Right.
lifestyle they live.
Right. Or whatever drug is like fueling their motivation to make that much money or.
Right. Oh, Doreen Marquez. This was a very interesting missing persons report. She was 5'1", 130 pounds. She had tattoos. She was missing 1 year, 2 months before this report was filed. But the first victim to have children that were alive at the time.
Oh,
so I
wow.
thought that was of note. She has a tattoo of a deck of cards on one of her ankles, unknown side, and was a drug user. Very mysterious report. Miss Sanchez reported her cousin missing. Miss Sanchez advised Doreen was last seen taking her son to school, the Calvary Christian Academy on Lead, October 2003. Miss Sanchez and her family are concerned. They have not heard from Doreen after she left her 10 and 8-year-old daughters with Doreen's dad in Roswell and never returned.
What?
Yeah. Last seen dropping off her kids at school. Must have been in the morning.
That's a weird one.
Took her kids to Roswell beforehand for some reason. Like she was expected maybe work over the weekend, right? And come back and get them maybe. And then just never came back.
Yeah, but why did it take them so long to report her missing if she was not like a street person?
I know. Why didn't the dad report it?
Yeah.
That's pretty bizarre too.
Maybe
he was just like, it's better this way. Like, fuck it. Like, I don't know where mom's at. Like, we'll let her family call it in or something.
Also, my other question was like, how sure are they that the list is correct?
What do you mean of how many people are?
Of that these women are the women that they found.
What do you mean?
Like, how certain are they that these are the actual women?
Well, they DNA tested them.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty certain. I'm pretty sure it's pretty much verified. But there are 8 additional women that they don't know that if it's part of this timeline or not that went missing around the same time.
Got it.
But found in different spots, though. The West Mesa guy stopped in 2005 or 2006.
Oh, okay.
He just stopped burying them there. Whether or not he was still active, I don't know.
Right.
Let's see. What other videos do I have pulled up here? I think here's a creepy video we should watch. This was back when Lorenzo Montoya broke through as a suspect. And they released these photos that were in his possession.
Oh.
Let's check this out. It's only a minute long.
Police continue to investigate the notorious West Mesa murders today, releasing pictures of 2 women who could help them solve this case.
We tried to keep things really tight-lipped, try to preserve the integrity of the investigation as much as possible, and it's just not leading us anywhere. So let's release some things and see if we can't generate the waters flowing again.
Police want you to take a good look at these two women. The photos of the women were found on a homemade sex tape belonging to Lorenzo Montoya. Police say these women could provide solid evidence connecting him or clearing him of the crime.
Everyone says that Montoya and Blair are the premier suspects. It's not an unfair assessment, but there's still another 6 or 7 men out there who we haven't been able to clear officially.
Montoya was shot and killed in 2006 by a prostitute's boyfriend after Montoya strangled her in his home. 3 years later, the bodies of 11 women and a fetus were found buried near 118th Street in Dennis Chavez. Police say all of them had gone missing before Montoya was killed.
All right. Nothing new there, but those photos were news once upon a time. I don't think they're ever going to solve this shit. Forever mystery?
Yeah. What would be crazy is that, if they stumbled on another mass burial site, would be.
Oh, they will.
Nuts. Yeah.
If the dude's still out there.
Think about all of the undeveloped land around. It's like
they're barely doing it.
Yeah, they only got there because they had the neighborhoods had finally expanded that far, right? And then they started digging around. Or did someone find it that?
Somebody found it on a walk.
Oh,
the lady was
okay.
Walking around the construction site with their dog, and the damn dog has a memorial now at the fucking West Mesa the victim's park for finding it. You found the femur.
Okay.
They also found other human remains there recently, and they allege that they were ancient and not connected.
Oh, right.
I'm like, oh, okay. Now they're just native.
Right.
Now they're just ancient native remains all of a sudden. What a bizarre world we live in. You're right. You remember when you told me you're like, New Mexico's haunted? Was it you that said that?
No, I don't think I said that.
Somebody said that. Why? New Mexico's just haunted, the whole state.
That's hilarious.
It's true.
I think it is true.
It's a powerful, dark energy here. Let's get to our last few missing persons reports, and then we'll watch one last video. Thank you for hanging in there, Mars.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
Thank you for everybody out there watching. Hit that thumbs up. Make sure you get your comments in. We want to read your comments. We will do it. We will read your comments, okay? Don't be afraid to chime in there. And I need to update my computer tonight. I got to do an install because Skype was acting up. Or I'd be shouting out the open lines, okay? But in the meantime, go ahead and call the lines and leave a message about the show. 1-505-337-0631. Tell us what you think about the West Mesa murders. I will play those when I do part 2 of this when the other records are released. So, yeah. Hopefully this is a fun side project that works out. I think I'll get some more information. What do you think? I think they'll release it to me.
I think so. I want to hear those audio things. That'll be cool.
I'm dying.
Yeah.
And I think one of those recordings is in regards to this person, Julianne Cindy Nieto. I think she is one of the ones that's being requested for the evidence department. She was 5'1", 85 pounds. Tattoo on her chest. Angela Romero reported her missing for 520 Espanola Road, Southeast, 87108. Let's see what this reads. I'm checking my notes really quick. She was only missing 3 weeks before reported, so kind of more in an average time frame, I think.
Right.
Miss Romero called in to report a missing person. Miss Romero reports the listed person is missing from the listed location. Miss Romero states that she saw her cousin last, the listed date and time, but after that, she has not seen or heard from her since then. Also mysterious.
Yeah.
Fuck my life. User says it's all the Santeria and alien visitors. We don't do Santeria.
Mm-hmm.
That's Caribbean.
We ain't got no crystal ball.
That shit's satanic where we come from.
Mm-hmm.
we will kick you out the family if you do the
Yep.
Ouija board.
I will salt a witch.
Right in their face.
Yep.
Right in their eyeballs.
Yeah.
Where they're the most moist. Right in the eyeballs. Just saying.
Moist.
Try that shit up instantly. You will see no more.
That's hilarious.
Bam. He uses his based. All right. Here we have, let's see. Veronica Romero, the only victim reported the same day she went missing.
Oh, wow.
I think that's a big clue. Of
Her parents loved her.
somebody loved her. 4009 Montgomery Northeast, number L2, 430 pounds, 28. Mary Jane Padilla. Maybe they were living together or
56. Probably your mom.
yeah. Let's see. Let's scroll down here. On listed date, time, and location, I was dispatched reference a missing person. On arrival, I contacted M. Padilla, who stated that her daughter, V. Romero, was dropped off at the McDonald's on Central and Wyoming at approximately 100 hours to meet an unknown male friend. By the way, tell people about that McDonald's, Mars. What do you think about that McDonald's? Do you remember that time? Was it that McDonald's we drove through where we went to that McDonald's once and we got several cheeseburgers and then you assaulted a homeless with cheeseburgers?
I think I did. I threw a cheeseburger at someone and I feel badly about it now.
Was it on Wyoming and Central though? Was that the one? I feel like that was the one.
Or no, I thought that was at the Yale one by the university.
Really? You're brazen.
Maybe. I don't remember. But yeah, I did
I feel
that.
like we were on the east side when that happened. I feel like it was just the same McDonald's.
Maybe.
Lots of crimes happen there, like assaults with cheeseburgers and missing people.
Yeah, it has a whole energy where like when you're there, you might do the same thing. That's all I'm saying.
It's like you go to like a warp of
It wasn't me.
You're like, I might carjack somebody even though I'm in a car driving one right now. Like I might just.
Does anyone have a Sawzall? Because I really want to like get some catalytic converters.
God
Well,
damn
I
it.
don't know. I'm having like a craving for it.
I've never gotten one before, but it's
Yeah.
coming to me in the
I'll
bolt
look
of
up a
energy.
YouTube video.
God damn it. User says, that's where you think women are moist, huh? I don't know. Mars, tell him. You have a kid, so you have to know where women are moist.
Oh, I have no idea anymore. I forgot. Actually.
Ivor says McDonald's got expensive as fuck. He's just focusing on McDonald's
No
right
free
now.
refills. He's hungry.
Mars tosser cheeseburgers, forcefully feeding the homeless. I still don't understand what a sawzall is.
It saws everything. All.
Oh, saws all.
It saws all.
So it's like an electronic hacksaw, probably.
Yes. It goes like that. And then you just cut anything.
Oh Lord. I just used normal woodshop tools growing up. I didn't learn sawzalls.
Right. You have like a hand crank drill you use back in like.
Well, I feel safer using that. I feel safer.
Oh man.
Is that wrong? Is that wrong?
You're a pansy.
All right, here we go. V. Romero hasn't been heard from since. M. Padilla advised me that V. Romero may have a drug and alcohol problem, and she suffers from seizures due to the substances. An attempt to locate was broadcast for Romero and was entered into NCIC. Oh, it's a reciprocating saw. I know what that is, Mars. Why did you just say it like normal?
Because that's too long to say.
That's what they taught us in Woods. Woods. It's called Woods. You saw it. You saw with it, and it saws with you.
It's see me saw it.
Alrighty. Let's get to our last missing persons report in our last video, okay? Go ahead and give a shout out to your things. Do a commercial for the old post or something right now. I'll be right back.
Oh, okay. Hey, if you're ever down in southern New Mexico, Alamogordo, New Mexico, on the other side of this black curtain right here behind me, hold on. Over here, there's a whole 10,000 square foot used items store, or they call it an antique store. But there's a bunch of items back there to buy if you're driving through Alamogordo, USA. So come on down, peek through the curtain right there, and I'll be like, oh, hey, I've never seen you before in my life.
So what's the deal with that building next door with the banner on it? Is that like your building too with the sales on it, or is that a different building? Or do you just
No, that's our building.
You just do that to like, is that like fake advertising? Or are you really like on clearance?
Well, some stuff is on clearance.
Okay.
Like we're trying to sell all the cases, and there used to be, or there's like one vendor left that everything of theirs is like 50% off.
Nice.
So come on down.
Do you have any lightly used skulls?
No.
Sorry, user. He says
No. Oh, you know what? Oh, wait. What kind of skull? Like, I have a warthog skull. Or not a warthog, it's a boar. Boar skull.
There you go, user. He has a boar skull.
I do.
See? You're like the Indiana Jones of Alamogordo.
I make dreams come true.
You have the Holy Grail somewhere in there and you don't even know.
No.
Oh, the Shroud of Turin. You got to go to the Shroud of Turin Museum, guys, out there.
Oh, yeah. They changed the locations, but you can still go see them. They're at the mall right now. So
this is the records request I'm waiting for. It's the 04-45780 supplemental info added to indicate tattoo information. And then I don't have it, though. So I need that shit. This victim is our last one to talk about. Gina Valdez, 22, 5'1", 100 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes, tattoos. She was missing for about 5 months from 2807 Truman Street. And I believe, dude, my coworker says this was her friend growing up. One of her friends.
What?
Yeah, like the kids. Like not the mom, but like this is the mom of one of her friends.
Oh, okay.
Went missing. So that's pretty sad to think about. But we saw Dan Valdez in that video. Tattoos, left ankle, right wrist, uses drugs. Mr. Valdez advised his daughter is homeless and last saw Gina 9/22/04. Mr. Valdez said she usually comes around to borrow money, but he has not heard from her and is concerned about her welfare. Gina does not have a vehicle that he knows of. All right. And that is it for the missing persons reports. Like I told y'all, there was a little bit more in certain places and not so much in others, but some of the takeaways I wrote down, I didn't write down much. I don't have much more to go off of right now. But I noticed 3 victims had scars of different varieties. Some of them were medical, some of them not. 5 victims were 105 pounds or less, and none were over 130 pounds. So either I thought somebody has a type or he has a physical limitations where like maybe he's not a big guy and can't be lifting around 150 to 200 pound women, dragging them through the desert.
Right.
5'6" is the tallest victim, and 8 out of the 10 were under 5'4". 2 victims were connected to Northwest Edith, Monica Candelaria, and Virginia Cloven, and they were both reported a year apart. Similar height, weight, and age on those 2. Plus, we have the 2 or 3 missing in the war zone. I don't know, some kind of West Side, East Side, maybe turf war. Maybe they all knew each other. Maybe they all were working for the same pimp. Maybe they were all working for pimps that were fighting with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they were snitching on pimps. Like, or rumored to be snitching on pimps and murderers. I don't know.
Yeah.
Cartel? Sedeno cartel?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
It doesn't strike cartel to me. I think it'd be more brutal, like obvious torture.
Yeah, I don't see any motive there, really. Or this
Unless
seems more...
people were snitching.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it doesn't say whether or not any of these women had, like, police records.
No, but I could do that next time. I could look up their police records at a Mexico case lookup.
Mm-hmm.
I could actually literally do that. It would just take a lot of work. That's a good lead, Mars. That shit's public. Anybody who's charged with a crime in New Mexico, you go to New Mexico case lookup and you can find it. If you ever are dating somebody and you're unsure, just type their fucking name in there. Let's go to the last video. This is Duke City Case Files, episode 6, West Mesa case. This is from a few years ago. They do these like short little podcast YouTube things once in a while.
It's heart-wrenching to be out here and think about this is where they laid to rest. It's also heartwarming. It's a place to remember.
So I was assigned to missing persons in the summer, July of 2005. And I was assigned to adult missings. And then I was given 3 reports on three of the girls who had backgrounds of drug addiction and prostitution.
Oh, snap.
It was a retired detective who was hired back on to work in the cold case. So I consulted with him and I said, hey,
I'm in contact with her.
Not right here. And so he did some other background and we were like, this is just too quiet. And so that's when I started making a list. And then the list kept growing as I started discovering more reports that had been on file. I told the detective, I don't know, maybe we have a serial killer. And I said, I just feel uneasy about their disappearances. And we would just put intel on suspects that could be, linked to picking up prostitutes. It was truckers. It was just intel from all over. FBI would give us flyers. Everything about them was similar. I mean, each one has their unique story to them and their background, but they all hung out in the same area, rather. A lot of them did time together. And again, a lot of them were friends. The ones that were found here, we still have a couple girls that went missing prior to. We don't know if they're related. The chances are they're related. But as far as who was found on the West Coast, 2003, 2004 girls. So there's 2 girls in 2003 and 9 in 2004. Well, anytime a bone was found, say out on the Mesa or some remote area, homicide, they were well aware of all the girls that were missing. They would get a hold of me and say, hey, they found human remains or a bone, but it could take several months or years to find DNA. So I was approached on, I think it was February 2nd, that a femur had been found. And then I said, okay, well, let me know if you get results back or when you do. And then 2 days later, I was told that the first identification had been made and it was Victoria Chavez. And I remember saying, here we go. And so that's when I just thought that this is the beginning of finding the girls that have been missing. I think it was just confirmation of, the effort. And it's been a team effort, of all the work of trying to find them and trying to find answers. But then it's the reality of we're here now and we're finding them. And then, of course, that led to having to let the families know.
She was tiny, small, very petite. Good mom. She liked to cook. She liked to sew. She enjoyed being around her sister all the time, and she loved being around her son. She went missing in 2004. I just want find out who did this to her and why. I just want it to be over because I'm living in the shadows because I'm always afraid of everything. If anybody out there knows what happened, let them know. Give us the piece we're looking for.
So our job is to find the missing pieces. And so if we can focus on these girls were loved, each one has a unique story. Their parents want answers. The other parents need their girls back. So instead of the focus sometimes being on, oh, it's the high-risk lifestyle, how about we focus on the person that's perpetrating them? This is somebody who had access to the women. This is somebody who was very comfortable with the place that he buried the girls, had concealment. It's somebody who prays, who's out there, who's a predator. They know that a lot of times that the girls aren't reported missing right away. They know they're very vulnerable because they're addicted to their drug and they're desperate to make their money. And so it's somebody who takes advantage of that. I would like to reach out to the girls that were working during that time. Was it someone they remember?
Yep.
Driving in the area? Do they remember a vehicle? Did they experience anything? Were they able to get away from somebody in a situation that was going bad? Were they victims? You know, I think those tips, sometimes people hold onto tips for a long time, and I think that would be important to reach out to somebody if they have information. We're hoping that information will lead to also finding the next set of girls. You know, but somebody always knows something, and we're hoping that that person, maybe after all these years, will reach out.
I think it's important for people to know that of all the remains that were found here, that there were no injuries that the Office of Medical Investigator or the forensic anthropologist could identify. For example, these women weren't shot. There was no evidence that they were shot and killed, or blunt force trauma, that kind of thing. And so this complicates the case and makes it a little harder to solve, because we don't have these clear indicators of what actually caused their deaths.
I don't want these cases to be forgotten. Again, there's still 8 girls that are missing.
All right, I need to write these down really quick so I could request these. We got Anna Vigil, Felipe Gonzalez. I guess Felipe is a man and woman's name. Oh, Felipa. That makes more sense.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry, I just read it incorrectly. I didn't know. Chantel Waits. They must release these to me, too. They will release these. If they gave me the last ones, they'll give me these ones.
Right.
Nina Herron, Vanessa Reed. Man, we can make this into a giant series.
I know. It's kind of crazy how many directions there are to go.
I think these 8 could provide some clarification, though. If you just approach it from like these are connected rather than like the other skeptical way, I don't know.
Right.
Like I have the freedom to run with shit. They don't.
Right.
I know that sounds crazy to say too, but Anna Peebles is interesting. She used to work at Flying Star at downtown. Then she started prostituting herself out.
Oh wow.
Working there. She was last seen there, I believe.
I know it's very important to be able to try to find them because they may give us answers to the girls found in the West Mesa.
It's difficult because life goes on, and it's important that we don't forget what happened here. And it's important that when we see, again, normal life going on, that if somebody is out here doing construction, if they see something new, if they find new bones, if they find something suspicious, that they let us know. You know, this is really important for the families for the investigators, but this is really important for Albuquerque.
You don't want no other parent to go through this again.
Jordan said, Mars, you're not responsible for any of these, are you? Pretty slick to be on this podcast.
It's funny that I graduated high school in 2003 and I moved to Albuquerque in 2006.
Oh, shit. I moved to Albuquerque in 2006 also.
Yeah.
User says, this is like that case where a guy was dumping them off on a parkway on the beach. Ugh. And Ivor says, I got hit with a diarrhea while mowing. Sad face emoji. That's the kind of comment you can expect on a very serious stream.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking Ivor. What were you saying?
Oh, I don't remember now. I lost it.
Something about Ivor's diarrhea.
Damn
it. Let's continue. Finish the video. If there's even any more commentary, it's just going to be piano music. Any information regarding the whereabouts of these women or information on the case, please call 505-768-2450 or Crime Stoppers at 505-8443-STOP. Or you can let me know, and then we'll go split that 100K reward, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Ivor made it to the toilet in time, he told us.
Oh, good grief. Oh, Dildo Beach.
I think he meant Gilgo Beach. I don't know. Our chat's an animal. Like, I try to do serious things, and
no,
I just get derailed sometimes. Anyway, final thoughts. Biggest leads. What was the most interesting thing you learned about the West Mesa murders? Still not much.
I mean, I kind of forgot that they were all prostitutes.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it's been a while since we even talked about this. Or I think you did like a short show about this a couple years ago or a few years ago.
Yeah.
But I mean, other than that, you know, it's not like I kind of forgot. I forgot they were prostitutes. So yeah, it's going to be really hard to figure it out, I think. I think like you said earlier, it's never going to be solved.
I feel like they must have a strong inkling in a certain direction. And right. I wonder what they're withholding from the public, because they've been kind of forthright lately, but not this whole time. So I wonder if whoever's involved is like retired for the department, whoever knows something. Like, I just wonder if something tells me that there's an APD kind of connection to all this. Like I said, like, I don't think it's necessarily an officer involved, but I think that there has to be some kind of police beat officer that knows something that they're not saying, maybe.
Right.
Or that an informant took care of something on behalf of an officer.
Could be.
That's what I lean towards. Or gang. I mean, gang is pretty easy.
Yeah.
For like 11 or 12 prostitutes to go missing, that's like a significant amount in one area. Like, I know there's like lots of them, but how many prostitutes do you think there are in a few blocks in Albuquerque? Like, it can't be more than a couple hundred, right?
Yeah. Like, I want to hear the lore. Like, that's why I'm like, I want to talk to the prostitutes, because I'm sure at the time they were like, whoa, there's like a spike in like chicks just being gone. Like, they are gone.
And you know, prostitutes would be talking to somebody. They must be like reporting this to the cops that are working them on the undercovers.
Right.
Why didn't they do anything?
Yeah.
Right? Like, you know, if they're talking, like, if they are as chatty as everybody thinks they are, that means that the undercover cops that were working that beats picked it up along the way also. And what did they do with that information?
Yeah. Or they found something they don't want to come out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think the most interesting things I took note of, and I even said them already, but how much the physical descriptions align, but just tell me if I'm wrong. Like, even for Mexican women, like 105 pounds is pretty damn small, right? That's like abnormally small. Like that, though, they seem targeted. If nobody else is targeted, they definitely seem to be targeted, because that's a really tiny, like, either you have like a tiny girl fetish, or maybe like you graduated from middle schoolers to prostitutes like Joseph Blee.
Yeah, I think this person definitely has a type. Definitely. I mean, that's the most obvious thing, I think.
And user says, what if it was a cop?
There you go.
I think we got to leave it on there. Let's go ahead and sign off for the evening. Cosmic Marauder here with Mars Bars. Last words?
Enjoy. Enjoy. Have a good afternoon. And yep, that's it.
All right, guys. Tomorrow, expect some shorts to be uploaded throughout the Flaming Lips concert, because I'm going to go see them at Revel. And at the end of the night or the next day, I'll have like some kind of compilation. I'm not going to try to record too much during this. I just want to enjoy this one. So a couple of quick short videos regarding the Flaming Lips, and see y'all later. Thanks, Jordan. He says, great show. Good night, everybody. Peace.